Kalimera. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and thank you very much for the chance to welcome you here. Kalimera, καλώς ήρθατε και καλή χρονιά, αν επιτρέπετε, αυτή τη στιγμή του Ιανουαρίου. It's a great pleasure to be able to see so many of you here as we launch on the third year of the Earthshot Prize. As we've just heard, but to remind us, launched by His Royal Highness Prince William and the Royal Foundation and supported by a vast network of organisations across the world, this initiative aims to identify the most innovative solutions to one of the world's, or perhaps the world's, greatest challenge, namely climate change, and to inspire engagement and synergies across the globe to improve our life for generations to come. It's hard to think of a more pressing or noble cause to engage in. Hannah Jones, the Chief Executive of the Earthshot Prize, has kindly accepted our invitation to address this event, and she is much better placed than I am to speak about the Earthshot vision and achievements. But let me just say a few words about today. I'd like to welcome Mr. Psichogios, President of Psichogios Publications, who I know feels very strongly about environmental causes, and thank you for being with us here. Thank you, Secretary General Aravosis. Great pleasure to have you here. And also, I think we've got Mr. Sinolakis, Chairman of the National Climate Change Committee. So welcome to all of you and all our other distinguished guests today. Last February, I had the great pleasure and opportunity to meet the first cohort of Earthshot Nominators, 5 in total, from Greece, in that very British setting of tea in the Grand Bretagne Hotel, at a time when we were starting, or they were starting their journey as nominators. And allow me to say, if I may, that I think you've done a fantastic job. The number and quality of the nominees in 2022 speaks volumes about the organisation's leadership in the environmental space. And what's more, you've been invited once again, so thank you, to be nominators for the Earthshot Awards in 2023. So congratulations and heartfelt thanks from us. Today, of course, all eyes will be on the Earthshot nominees for 2022. 13 out of a total of 14 nominees are joining us today, either online or here in person. And we'll do our best to give everybody a fair share of speaking time. I don't envy the job of the moderator, but congratulations in advance for what I'm sure will be an excellent job. But even if time is a challenge today, I'd like to reassure you as the British Ambassador that we not only plan but will continue our efforts to raise the profile of the prize as well as that of the nominators from Greece and your local and international nominees throughout the year. And we'd be very interested to follow up separately with any ideas or proposals that you have about how best we can do that. The United Kingdom, of course, as host of COP26 in Glasgow, having passed the mantle on to the Egyptians in Sharm el-Sheikh late last year, remains committed to increasing our global climate ambition and to paving the way for a sustainable future. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to welcome all of you in the room, our audience, and those online, joining us from the wider green ecosystem, civil society organisations, universities and research institutes, the banking sector, municipalities, and many, many others. Some have come from outside of Athens, and we very much appreciate you making the time and an effort to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, building a community for change and investing in the power of human ingenuity is what the Earthshot Prize is all about. So I wish you a successful and fruitful day today. Please, let's spread the word. Share with your friends on social media about the Earthshot Prize. Follow our social media accounts on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to tag us. And here's to a very successful day. Thank you very much. Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now, the President of Psichogios Publications, who recently published the Earthshot book in Greek, Haris Psichogios.
Thank you. Excellency, guests, good morning. As Mr. Yorakopoulos said, I represent Psichogios Publications, and on behalf of our company, we would like to thank all of you for being here today. We're really honored to have published this book about the Earthshot Awards, which is actually more than the awards. It's a great read, easy read, and I hope that it reaches as many people as possible because it really creates awareness for our environment. The first step that was taken by His Royal Highness Prince of Wales William to establish these awards was a great step forward towards reversing the current route that we as humans have taken, destroying our planet, unfortunately, depleting our planet from its natural resources, the flora and fauna of our ecosystem, and consequently, humanity. The next step, which is upon us, is to create awareness. And for that reason, I would like to thank the authors of the book Earthshot, Colin Badfield and Johnny Hughes, for writing such a great, easy read that we can all enjoy and be aware of what is going on in our planet. It provides shocking information, but at the same time, it gives hope, which is actually something I haven't read in any other book so far. Usually you read all these horror stories that don't really give any hope, and you close a book and you're like, okay, what do we do now? However, this book shows that we as humans have done a lot of things. And for that reason, I would also like to thank one more time the British Embassy and the government, the British government, for all the efforts that they have been doing, not only for today's event, but for the efforts that they've been doing for the global climate throughout all these years. Finally, I would like to congratulate all these nominees and previous winners for their efforts, because we need individuals with a passion for the environment to create a change. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. All the best to all of you. Thank you.
So, last but not least, the CEO of the Earthshot Prize, Hannah Jones, is with us tonight through a Zoom link, I think.
Yes, I can hear someone. Hello. I don't know who I'm looking at, but I'm
me.
Hannah.
I don't know if you can see me, but it doesn't matter at all. We would like to welcome you in this event. We would like to hear your opening statements, your opening remarks on the Earthshot Prize, and the floor is yours. Everybody's eager to listen to you.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure to be there with you all, at least virtually. Frankly, it's so cold in London that I absolutely wish I was with you now in Athens. My name's Hannah Jones, as you probably know, and I am accountable for running the Earthshot Prize, which is a massive honor and a pleasure to be able every day to be trying to support the innovators around the world who are repairing our planet for us with incredible innovations. So the Earthshot Prize was founded by Prince William, the now Prince of Wales, with the goal of really having an impact in this decade. This, as we know, is the crucial decade in which we all have to turn the corner into a more sustainable and just world. And we believe that that will take the innovators of the world, you, whether you're working in a not-for-profit, whether you're working in a startup or a government or a city or a youth movement. We believe in the innovators around the world who are dedicating their talent, their lives, their work to thinking up solutions that, if scaled, could really become a source of change in the world. And so every year, with our amazing cohort of official nominators, we scour the earth, we search the earth for great solutions that have working prototypes. So we're looking for solutions that actually are already showing signs of working, of traction, of success, and that if we could help boost them and scale them, could really make a big impact on one of the 5 categories that we look for. We look for solutions in oceans. We look for solutions in biodiversity. We look for solutions in clean air, climate change, and getting to a waste-free world. And so what I would encourage everyone to say is that the prize of £1 million for the 5 winners every year is just the tip of the iceberg for the nominees that come into the Earthshot Prize. We actually take the top 15 and work with them throughout the next year to help them all to find access to resources, advice, networks, and capital to help them to scale. Indeed, next week, this year's cohort of 15 finalists are coming to Windsor near London to spend a week's retreat with us so that we can help with outside experts for them to scale. We would love to have diversity and representation from all over the world. And that's why I'm particularly excited to be here with you today, and with great gratitude to the British Embassy in Athens to say now is the time to put solutions into the nominating process for the 2023 Earthshot Prize potential winners and finalists.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jones, for this informative and inspiring statement, and enjoy the rest of your day in London.
Thank you so much. I wish I was there with you.
We
Take
wish
care.
the same. Thank you. Take care.
Goodbye.
So now, let us now shift the focus forward to the 2022 and 2023 nominators and the 2022 nominees to update us on their work and to share their views about their Earthshot Prize experience. We have 2 panels and very little time. The first one is going to bring together some of the nominators, and they will talk to us about their Earthshot experience and maybe share some news about the ongoing nomination process for next year. So I would like to ask all the nominators present to come forward and join me on this panel. As they come forward, the rules are thus: each speaker has about 3 minutes to present, to talk about their experience. Sit wherever you want. When you take the, when you start speaking, please introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, as briefly as possible. So, starting from my right, and the person who sits farther apart, talk to us about your experience.
Hello to all. My name is Alex Galinos. I represent Organization Earth. I should share with you a few words, first of all, about Organization Earth, because I'm sure not all of you know us. We are a grassroots organization. We work, our work focuses on facilitating change at the community level. And by change, we mean behavioral change. Help people become more environmentally friendly and responsible. We do this by offering active learning programs, programs that teach you how to reconnect with nature and how to help people reconnect with each other. And we've also been very active as of late in urban greening throughout the Attica region and northern Greece. So, in terms of our experience, obviously this is a great initiative for us. We were very happy to be able to reach out to other peers in the field who, you know, they strive to deliver change, and it's a great opportunity to have the chance to know of somebody who's making a difference and motivating them to, you know, reach out and talk about their story. So for us, in terms of initiatives that we promoted, have to do with reducing waste and waste management, with energy communities, and also with smart environmental friendly applications. So that's it for us.
Thank you. That's very interesting. If any of you are ready to make any announcements regarding the nominees of 2023, this is the perfect venue. No pressure, only if you're ready. Let's move on to EPLO and Spiros.
Thank you, Thodori. Thank you very much. What I will say is that for us, being a nominator for the Earthshot Prize was a very, and is still a very, very important thing, a very important piece of our work for two reasons. The first reason is that our institute was established in collaboration with the University of Cambridge, the Cambridge Institute for Sustainability Leadership, which at the time was under the auspices of His Royal Highness and currently His Majesty King Charles. And actually, the inauguration of our institute took place in this building, so that's very moving for us. The second, that our status as an organization is an international one. So we're an international organization with permanent observer status in the UN General Assembly, and by its nature, we are international in whatever we do. In this sense, what we wanted to do was to find ways to address the main issues related to sustainability or non-sustainability, if you like, around the planet. Now, this is not only climate change, but it's also biodiversity loss, it's water management, it's the sea and the coastline, the blue economy as a whole, it's forests. And what we tried to do at the time was to have a more international view. So not only Greece, although in Greece there were very, very important cases, and we had to really try very hard to narrow down the number of potential nominees, but also extend to international to other initiatives and companies and projects from other parts of the world. And we ended up presenting the number of initiatives that my colleague, Ms. Teliani, will speak about. But what I want to just say and close on this is that this year we'll be doing the same. We're extending to different parts of the world, including Asia, the Gulf region, the United States, and so on, because we're trying to find the best that there is out there, because we want to have the paradigm, we want to have the examples, we want to have the dynamics and the power of all of these projects or companies or activities or people that are really looking into being part of the solution. And with this, I will not take any more time because I respect, Thodori, that you have a very tough job. But I would like to ask Ms. Eligiani, who actually did the job, and she has to get the credit for last year's nomination, and in order to do this year's nomination, because it's a lot of work. Thank you.
So just to complement what Spiro said, what we have been trying to do both for last year's nominations and this year is diversity of teams, diversity of geographies, and diversity of projects. So we have been looking into projects, into startups, into individuals that actually promote sustainability and the 5 Earthshot pillars. For last year, we had 6 nominees, 2 international, 2 outside of Greece, and 4 Greek ones, Greek startups and Greek initiatives. We focused on scalability and replication, so how these projects, individuals and startups could actually scale their initiatives and how this could be replicated in other geographies. We also focused on flagship projects. So for Greece, we actually picked 2 projects that we think are very illustrative and very prestigious of the efforts that Greece as a whole, as a country, does in the field of sustainability. The first one was the Greek National Reforestation Project, a very ambitious project. And I see the Secretary General of Forest here in Greece, who here with us today, who is leading this initiative. It's a very ambitious project spanning 10 years. And the other project was CleanPact. I think Mr. Professor Plionis is here with us. It's a research project of 20 academic and research institutions in Greece to actually monitor and the environment and climate change and promote climate change mitigation and adaptation. So for next year, as Spiro said, we're looking in to expand the geographies, so we will be focusing on Greece, as always, but also we have projects from Oman, from Malaysia, Southeast Asia, and Australia, and of course the US. So thank you so much.
So if you just give me 1 second, I want to already ask for your understanding and excuse ourselves, because around 12:30 sharp, we need to leave because we're flying to Oman, where we will be running with the government of Oman the sustainability plan for their national tourism organization. So if we do a good job, maybe next year they will be nominated.
Very well. Give them our best at Oman, and you're free to go whenever you need to.
Thanks.
Yes.
You probably need microphone. So
Hello, my name is Athanasios Polychronopoulos. I am from PCAI. Green Culture and Art Initiative. We are very proud to be a nominator in this procedure. And actually, I would like to begin by saying a Greek motto, which is Omíos Chrī, which is a Delphi maxim, because we are related very much with the Delphi, the ancient place of Delphi, which actually means be among similar to you people. Spend time with people who have the same ideas with you. And now, actually, we feel that we are in the same room with all the green warriors of this planet. And we are very proud that a noble royal family, the most respected one in the world, Prince William, has taken this initiative, and he's driving the developments in the sustainability world. We feel obliged as a nominator to provide the best examples of sustainability efforts in Greece and worldwide. As you know, or if you don't know, PCAI is a cultural organization which is main focus is to promote environmental awareness through contemporary art and education. So we are a very well-known organization. We send artists in all over the world where there is a ecological problem, and they make an artwork out of it, mainly video art. So that's why we have a very good collection and with a great impact. We have promoted 5 nominees, which we think all of them, they are very capable, and with the help of the Earthshot Prize, they could scale up what they are doing, because this is what Earthshot is all about, scaling up and providing sustainable solutions. Thank you very much for the opportunity that you gave us, especially Kika Kyriakou is heading all this effort, and she can talk more about it if anybody has any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this.
Hello, my name is Aliki Lampropoulos. I represent Commons. We're very honored to have been part of this process. Commons is a UK-based social enterprise with a mission to reduce the plastic crisis. The plastic problem is a systems-based problem, and a bit like climate change, it's everywhere in our lives. So in order to solve the plastic crisis, you need to change the system. So that's the process we're following. We believe very much in upstream solutions, because as important end-of-the-line solutions are like recycling and beach cleanups, we believe that in order to see an actual result, you need to close the tap. So in our experience as nominators for the Earthshot, we actually recommended one initiative here in Greece that we believe does exactly that. We were very happy to learn more about their process, and we're very happy to be connected with other like-minded organizations, like the other nominator organizations and the other nominees. It's incredible to have more nominators from Greece and more initiatives from Greece. We know that we are able to nominate also initiatives from abroad, but I think it's very important that the efforts that are being here get the chance to be heard and to scale their operations abroad. So we're very honored, and thank you for this.
Thank you so much. Of course, I have questions for all of you. I would like to hear so much more about the nomination process, how time-consuming it was, whatever your criteria. I'm not going to ask these questions now. Maybe if we have a few minutes after we finish our first round of statements.
So I would like to introduce our organization, the Cyclades Preservation Fund. I'm Nasia Kasela, I know some of you. I would like to also speak about last year's nominations and announce our nomination for this year. To start with, we are an organization that works in the Cyclades for the protection of the natural environment, and we try to focus on grassroots and bottom-up approaches on the field, initiatives that are started by local nonprofit entities or are supported by the community, but are implemented in collaboration with national or international entities. Our process and rationale of how we nominated last year in 2022 was to really showcase the work that is being done in the Cyclades by bottom-up initiatives. And we submitted a nomination for the Amorgorama initiative that many of you may have heard in the press, a nomination for the Paros Park initiative through the Friends of Paros Park Association, that is a non-voluntary organization on the field. And we also submitted a nomination for the Conservation Collective, a network to which we are a member of that consists of international funds that work to support grassroots initiatives on the ground, specifically in places that have a lot of pressure by tourism. They're usually insular or coastal areas that face a lot of ecological pressure and human pressure. So Amorgorama is an initiative that is led by the Professional Association of Fishermen. It has gained increasing support nationally and internationally. We're happy that today we have with us Ms. Angela Lazu from the Blue Marine Foundation, Mr. Vangelis Paravas, that is a scientific consultant to Amorgorama, and Mr. Stefanos Kalogiru, that is running currently a scientific study to showcase what will be the next steps for Amorgorama in practice, because Amorgorama has a four-pillared approach, and I'm sorry to take you more time, but I've been asked to say this here because the connection may not be well afterwards, because Mr. Crossman, the president of the Fishermen's Association, will be connecting from the field. They have a specific four-axis approach. Their first approach is to pause the fishing activities every year in April and May to allow fish stock to replenish. At the same time, they wish to engage in cleanups from coastal debris, where also Nalia Silefteris here has been supporting them in that pillar of waste management. They also wish to gradually change their gear into more sustainable selective gear, and they also want to engage in the designation of 3 no-take zones, marine protected areas around the area of Amorgos. And because there has been a jump in the progress in the last year, from last year's nomination to this year's nomination, in September 2022, there was an MOU that was signed between the Professional Association of Fishermen, the Ministry of Fisheries, the Municipality of Amorgos, the Region of South Aegean, the General Secretary of Aegean and Island Policy, the University of Agriculture of Athens, the Blue Marine Foundation, and the Cyclades Preservation Fund to support this initiative. So with this progress that is being made, with a scientific study underway, we believe that it will be a very good candidate globally for the Earthshot Prize, and it will also showcase how an initiative that comes really from the community in a bottom-up way can actually be an example globally for everyone else. And with the money, the 1 million euro can open a lot of ways. There is already thinking about how this can be scaled up in a way like that. So that would be our nomination for 2023. Yeah. To the fishermen and every entity, not just us, that is supporting them to make.
Absolutely. Thank you, and thank you all for being brief. Do we have any nominators online right now waiting to speak? No? Cool.
If I may see, no, Methodoris, because I don't know Mr. Andreopoulos in person, but maybe he's here also from Paros Park today. So Mr. Andreopoulos is the president of the Paros Park. That was our other initiative that we submitted, and he's honoring us today with his presence.
Isn't he on the next panel of the nominees?
Because we nominated the Friends of the Paros Park Association, the voluntary organization that is supporting the municipal enterprise that Mr. Andreopoulos is representing. So it's a bottom-up approach, but again, with the support of the institutions to actually make a difference. So thank you for being here. And excuse me, because I don't know, we have never met in person. I was not sure if you're here today. Okay, excuse me for that.
He's here. Okay.
Yes, from from the Friends of Paris Parthenon.
So we'll hear from the project anyway. So thank you all for being so brief and so poignant and so informative. I think we have now an overview of how the nomination process works and who takes part in it. And we have with us today, doing the segue onto the second panel, the Secretary General of Forestry from the Ministry of the Environment, Mr. Konstantinos Aravosis. Mr. Aravosis, if you would like a few remarks on the podium on the Earthshot Prize and anything else you would like to contribute.
I really feel happy to be here because, as it has been mentioned, the Earthshot Prize can really be the driver for change and the tool in order to mobilize towards the direction of combating the great problem that we face today internationally, the climate crisis problem. First of all, I'm here in my capacity as a representative of the Greek Ministry for Environment and Energy, but also we have been nominated for one of our actions, the Greek National Reforestation Plan. You know, of course, that Greece has made significant efforts the recent years, especially concerning climate, in order to face this great climate crisis problem. You know that we are one of the first countries in the EU that have already a national climate plan, and Professor Sinolakis is here. He was the chair of the respective scientific committee that together we have developed this national climate plan. And apart from that, you know that we have a national adaptation plan for the climate change. And we take many actions, and I think we are in the progress, and we are one of the countries that focus in environmental policy actions that have to do with the environmental climate crisis. Now, concerning our nomination, the National Reforestation Plan, it's the first time that we have such a plan. We intend to reforest areas of around 550,000 acres for the next 10 years. And we have already secured 200 million euros from the RRF fund, from the recovery fund of the EU, for reforestation areas of 17,000 acres for the next 3 years. And it is a plan that has already started. We have started with a pilot where Greek universities are included. In this pilot, we use modern technologies. We not only reforestate, but through these technologies, it is possible to have to protect the reforested areas, and also monitor what is going on, and also monitor the growth of the trees. So I think technology can play a significant role in this. But for the next 3 years, 16,000 acres is a great area. It's areas where we have, you know, that we had mega fires, especially 2 years ago. It was the first time that we had such this kind of fires, because climate crisis has changed the way fire develops. And so we have not only, we have to adapt in this. Reforestation can help not only in the mitigation process, because you know that forests are natural sequestration, is a natural sequestration method, but also apart from that, adaptation is a great issue, and reforestation can indeed help in this. And you know that climate crisis can cause floods, unprecedented floods that we also had in the recent years, and it is for sure that this plan can help also in this. Finally, I would like to say something, to address something that maybe many of you don't know. It is a priority when you have a fire not to go into reforestation actions as the ones that we plan, but the priority is the natural reforestation. We choose the areas for reforestation where this is not possible in a natural way. This is very important. And so we hope that combining natural reforestation and the reforestation areas of the, according to our plan, that this will help to biodiversity also throughout Greece, and this will also improve the quality of the lives of all of us. Thank you very much.
So now it's time to hear from several of our other nominees who are right here in this room with us, teams that have worked on exciting projects and they are willing to share them with us now. I will ask each one of you, if you know who you are, to come on to the panel. Let's see how many we are. If necessary, I will get up and walk away to the side. There's room for more. Feel free to come, okay? As before, we would like you to say a few words about your initiative and introduce yourselves in the beginning. And let's start again from my right. This is is the microphone on?
It's not on? Okay, now? Yeah. Hi. Thank you for the invitation, first of all. My name is Manolis Plionis. I'm a professor at the physics department in the University of Thessaloniki, the Aristotle University, and director and president of the board of directors of the National Observatory of Athens, which I'm sure you know, but just in case, it is a research center that comprises of 3 different institutes: the Institute of Astrophysics, Astronomy, Space Research, and Space Research. The second one is the Geodynamics Institute, relevant with our earthquakes. And the third one is the Institute of Environmental Research and Sustainable Development. We have been nominated regarding a particular project, a national project actually. It's the so-called Klimpact project, is a networking initiative that started about 3 years ago, funded by the Greek state, in which in the initial phase, 11 research centers and academic establishments participated in order with 3 major scopes. The first one was to further understand the phenomenon of the climate change, especially how it is manifested in the Southeast Mediterranean region. Secondly, to gather all relevant data that are scattered throughout institutions in the private sector or the public sector in Greece, as well as to collect new data regarding the issue of climate change, data which have all kind of that come from all kind of different ways of providing them, whether they are satellite data, whether they are Earth-based data on stations throughout Greece. I open a parenthesis to say that the National Observatory of Athens has more than 700 metric stations throughout Greece, as well as we have the Hellenic hub for the Sentinel satellite data. Therefore, we are at a position to gather actually the data that we provide ourselves, but also from all other different institutions, and provide them in a common database which can be accessed, openly accessed by policymakers as well as the research community. And the third scope of the Climpact initiative was to actually engage with stakeholders, relevant stakeholders, the state, the local and regional government, in an attempt to develop a discussion between science and policymakers, as well as the relevant stakeholders that are affected by the problem of climate change, and actually provide a platform to develop the different ways of instigating policies and involving the civil society. The idea was an open forum, an open initiative. We started 11 research centers and academic establishments, and now we are 24, and we are further developing. We are entering the second phase of Climpact. The first phase just finished, or actually is finishing by the end of February, and the second phase is starting, financed again by the Greek state for another 3 years, with the final aim of providing a body of advisors, an advisory body, a very high quality scientific advisory body that involves all kinds of different sciences and thematic directions which are relevant to the problem, which is not only physics, it's not only chemistry, it's sociology, it's economy, economics, is a vast variety of thematic directions which are necessary in order to tackle the problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation to the Embassy and His Majesty. And of course, I would like to thank the organization Earth for the nomination and Mr. Galinos being here with us. My name is Kostas Komninos. I'm the General Director of Daphne. Daphne is a non-profit association of local and regional authorities from islands, only islands. And I'm happy to hear having more nominators and nominees like Amorgorama or the park from Paros participating in the process. So in our association, we have a participation of 56 island local authorities, municipalities, and also regional authorities from North, South Aegean, and Ionian Islands. And for more than a decade, we've been supporting all these entities. Of course, the network has been expanding the last decade, but we've been supporting their efforts for transition, clean energy transition, and sustainable development. We are nominated for our lighthouse project, which is called the Kythnos Smart Island. But I will take a very few seconds back and try to reflect on how we got here. Because the truth is that nowadays, and we are very happy to see that islands policies towards sustainability has been also mainstreamed by the Greek government, and this we are very happy to see that, especially through the GR Eco Islands General Secretary from promoting also at the highest level as our activities towards sustainability. However, some years ago, we've been realizing, and I think that this is common among most of the participants, that the projects, especially when it comes to energy, they're not easily or they're not accepted at all by local citizens and communities, especially in the islands. And we've been putting a lot of effort and resources, let's say, towards the direction of decarbonization of our economy and energy sector. But unfortunately, we haven't been reaching the results we expected. So what we try to focus on, and we did that in a European level, is to establish an initiative called Smart Islands Initiative, aiming towards integrated territorial solutions at island scale. So we broadened our organization. Now we are working more than 35 scientists, and we are working all pillars: water management, waste management, mobility, smart mobility. We're working on local development for sustainable tourism and cultural heritage, and we try to deliver integrated solutions towards this direction. We mobilized back in 2017 at the European Parliament an initiative, as I said, Smart Islands Initiative, with participation from most of the European islands, at that time also British islands, and we have very good contacts also with the Scottish Islands and North Scottish Islands towards this direction. And we managed to, through that, to secure a very significant financing for Greece of 5 million euros for interventions, especially in Kythnos. And we've been realizing this project the last 3 years, and we've been implementing with the municipality, with several partners, and with a strong participation with the Technical University of Athens. So we try to create also research work and keep or reverse brain drain and keep scientists in our country. And I'm working on Kythnos Island as a living lab for integrated solutions combining energy, water management, waste management, and also local development. When I say local development, I mean solutions toward the sustainable tourism. So we're working with the locals and the municipality to deliver a new sustainable destination, or to create a new sustainable destination for Kythnos. What we are aiming to through the Earthshot Prize, and we have been nominated as a primary Earthshot for the fixed climate, is to expand these activities, actually create a more a wider, let's say, ecosystem of these islands, not only in the Cyclades, which have been the spotlight for the last years, but also include most of the islands in Greece towards this in this initiative, and also expand and create more connections with the islands of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And moving on to pick up the thread, also mention when you describe your project what you would do if you won.
Okay, great.
Because that's what you said essentially. Go ahead.
Okay. I think now it's better. So good morning to everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's really a great honor to be able to be among you here today, to be among many friends and partners. My name is Lefteris Harapakis, and I am the co-founder and director of Enalia. And honestly, we are extremely honored to be nominated for the Earthshot. I think we're not really, I was never supposed to be here, so thank you very much, Eplo, for that extreme honor. I'm just coming from a fishing family, so the thing is that over the past 20 years, my father has been complaining. I think that's typical fisherman behavior, that they find every year more and more plastic in the seas and less fish. I experienced that actually firsthand in my first fishing trip, when I see that the fishermen were collecting so much plastic in their nets. And what shocked me was like a soda drink, which was so old. It had expired back in 1987. And I was holding that in my hand, and then the fishermen just took it from my hand and threw it back in the sea. So this was the moment that we decided to take action about that. And by expanding our operations, it was surprising to hear that fishermen from all over Greece were facing the same problems. Fishermen from Corfu, Thessaloniki, Amorgos, from Ancona in Italy, from Alexandria in Egypt, and from Kenya, actually, from Kwale and Mombasa. Then it was the moment that we realized we need to take action. So we started training the fishing communities to fish for plastic. We started from our local port here in Piraeus, and gradually we're able to expand all over Greece, Italy, Kenya, and now over the next months we're expanding in Cyprus, Egypt, and Spain, leading one of the biggest ocean plastic initiatives in Europe. Currently we're collecting the equivalent of more than 1 truck of plastic from the sea daily. And now we are setting up also to be one of the biggest ocean plastic cleanups in East Africa. Specifically, we were able to replicate our model in Kenya last year, and there with more than 500 fishers and 500 job opportunities, and we were able to create in an area with more than 80% unemployment. And we are able to actually do something very simple. We connect fishing communities with certified recycling and upcycling companies. That's the model we have all over the world. So in that way, in that regard, we're able to turn something that's a waste, plastic, into a resource, and thus creating economic development and thus cleaning the plastic from the oceans. Something that we saw along the way is that the majority of the plastic we find, both in the Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean, is fishing gear. It's the most common waste, around 15%. So we believe that if we replicate this model with fishing communities around the globe, we'll be able to tackle more than 15% of the globe's ocean plastic pollution. So what we're trying to create actually is we're just trying to create win-win partnerships between human societies and nature that will allow us to coexist in harmony. For this work, we got the award a few years ago as Young Champion of the Earth from the United Nations. That's the highest environmental honor that the UN gives to people under 30. And a few months later, the Mediterranean Department of the United Nations gave me the title of Ambassador for the Mediterranean Coast. So hopefully, if we receive the Earthshot Prize, we'll be able to replicate that model around the globe and show that, you know, we can solve the problem. We can fight ocean plastic. So yeah, that's for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And since we are on the issue of protecting the seas, let's take a break from our panel and go online where we have several nominees ready to share their experience and talk about their projects. And let's go to Amorgos. And Amorgorama was mentioned before. Let's hear some more about the project.
Kalimera from the beautiful island of Amorgos. You can hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Go ahead.
My name is Michalis Grossman. I'm representing the Professional Fishing Association of Amorgos. Congratulations for your event and thank you for giving us the opportunity to support our nomination and also to promote Amorgorama. Amorgorama is a vision of the Amorgos fishermen for clean seas full of fish. We, the fishermen, not only on Amorgos, but in general, have to face two huge problems: overfishing and marine pollution. So some years ago, the council of our fishing association agreed on a master plan with 4 axes. I think Nasia Casella before, but I will repeat the 4 axes. Stop fishing during April and May, the most important months for fish reproduction. During this time, cleaning coasts that are not easily accessible by land. Switching our fishing gear into a more sustainable form. And creating 3 marine protected areas along the coastline of the island of Amorgos. The past 2 years, we managed to realize 38 missions of garbage collection. That means 38 fewer days of fishing during the reproduction period. Collect more than 1,200 large bags of litter, plus many very big items. We sent more than 15 tons of plastic for recycling with support of by Enalia, where 60 to 70% were recycled. And we recycled more than 3 tons of fishing nets and ropes, also together with Enalia. Gradually, we changed our fishing gear into a more sustainable version. And I think the most important, we start the creation of the marine protected areas. The Agricultural University of Athens has begun the research which is necessary to declare these areas. There is still a lot to do in the future, but together with our main partners, the Claris Preservation Fund and Blue Marine Foundation, we are optimistic that we will succeed. Our first target is the regeneration of fish stocks around the Amorgos and keeping our shores clean of plastic. The second target is to spread our vision to other fishing communities. We are very happy that the local society and, of course, the municipality support our case. Next to me is the Vice Mayor of Amorgos, Popite Spotiri, and thank you for attention. Good luck to all nominees. I'm at your disposal for any questions. Okay.
Kalimera from Amorgos. Good morning from Amorgos. I represent the municipality of Amorgos as the Deputy Mayor of Tourism and Culture. First of all, we would like to help express our support to the nomination of Amorgorama become part of the swarm for the Earthshot Prize 2023. It will be a bright example for the other fishing communities around the Mediterranean Sea. And it's really important for us, and we will play the main role of the way we protect our seas. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your invitation.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, Captain. Since we're on the islands, let's stay at the islands. Let's go to Paros and hear about Paros Park. Is Paros live with us? Hi.
Yes, it is. So you hear me, that's good. On behalf of the association and of the Paros Park company, I will sincerely thank the British Embassy for this invitation. I sincerely thank the Earthshot Prize charity for this unique opportunity that is given to us. And last but not least, I want to thank the Cyclades Preservation Fund for the nomination, the CEPF being our most precious ally the last 5 years. The Paros Park, the environmental and cultural park of Paros, is a 80-hectare peninsula on the north side of the Nausa Bay on Paros Island, in the archipelago of the Cyclades. This land is of considerable environmental, historical, as well as cultural significance. From the environmental point of view, it could be just another rocky desert landscape, majestic and stunningly beautiful, like many others in the that we have learned to love in the Aegean. And I wish I could show you some photos today, but you can do that in parospark.com. But this place is different. Thanks to a citizen movement that started roughly 15 years ago and the consequent work of the local authorities, grazing and hunting were banned, and also motor vehicle movement and building was banned. At the same time, we started to develop a model for sustainable, small scale and high quality tourism. And this is work in progress. This is a unique occurrence in the Cyclades, and similarly unique, I think, in the wider area is our effort to regenerate the local ecosystem. We have tried and tested various techniques of rainwater retention, of erosion mitigation and revegetation that are scalable, replicable, low budget, using natural material, and a lot of volunteer work. We have had considerable success, and this success makes us optimistic and eager to continue. Although we will not be nominators for 2023, we appreciate the fact that we were nominees, not nominators, nominees in 2022, and we would eagerly use this money to really scale up and also replicate our system in other islands in the Aegean, but all over the Mediterranean as well. Because we believe that our project can demonstrate that regeneration of a degraded ecosystem is possible in a relatively short time frame with nature-based solutions, which is very important. We fully agree with the Earthshot concept that urgency plus optimism equals action. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much and congratulations. Let's come back to the panel and hear from our two local panelists.
Greetings, my name is Vasilis Fakianopoulos. I'm the founder of Saviorhood Movement, a movement that spread almost all over Greece and in Cyprus, and spread it to almost 12 countries more. In order to explain what Saviorhood is, I need to take you a little back. I need to tell you a story, a private one, that I always share with deep emotional tense. So sorry about that. Almost 2 years ago, it was the first lockdown. Me as Vasilis, all of my life, I was trying to help wherever I could, wherever I could, and almost all countries except from Greece, except from my city. I helped in India, I helped in Tanzania, I helped in Nepal, with ways that I thought that they were crucial to the sustainability of the Earth. But lockdown, COVID hit, and one thing I learned was that my neighborhood is in deep need for change. When you were taking a stroll on visiting your nearby parks, pollution was everywhere. Rubbish were completely filled the hills, our parks, and citizens just didn't seem to care. So in the first lockdown, I took a decision to adopt my own neighborhood, to care for my own neighborhood, and just do it with passion and continuity. Then my work consumed me, my work back then. The second lockdown hit again, and I decided to drop my job and to just do what I have decided to do, adopt my neighborhood. It was 15th of November when I called of my friends and I said that I'm going to clean the hill that I loved most in Greece, in Athens. It's in Turkovounia Hill, where you can see almost it's the most scenic scenery for me. You can see all of Athens onto your footsteps. You can see the perfect sunset, but if you look down, it was layers and layers of trash, of rubbish, just endless. So 7 of us, we took the initiative to clean that hill. Then like magic, hundreds of people just saw our action and tried to participate in my neighborhood, to clean my neighborhood. But that's not the case for me. It was completely illogical for me for other people to come to my neighborhood, to clean my neighborhood, when their neighborhood was in trouble too. One thing led to another. It was 2 insane nights trying to find the perfect model to just say to the world that you can do it by yourself. You don't need me to just show you where you want to clean. You don't want me to take initiative for your neighborhood. I created a model that night, and then history just speaks for itself. After 2 years, more than 38,000 volunteers across Greece, Cyprus, and 11 more countries acted towards their neighborhoods. They're creating small groups of people, of local people, just care for their neighborhoods, taking initiatives for the better of their society and for one another. One thing I learned more than that, it was like that humans matter. Humans want to change. Humans want to connect. And there is a huge love for each other, but you need just to see it. Using their voice, because we are following a sociocratic model on the way we're doing things, each local team has its own voice, and we all participate to make decisions on saviorhood. We have taken so many decisions, so many nice examples, local ones, that we try to make it bigger, to make it more influential across the globe and make saviorhood global. So thank you so much for your time. It was a wonderful opportunity, and it really is to just connect with each other. And let's make the next Earthshot awards together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations for all your work. Let's hear from you now.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Susanna Leskaridis. I'm the co-founder and director of Blue Cycle. First of all, I'd like to thank the nominators that nominated us for the Earthshot Prize. We are not only extremely honored to be nominated, but we're extremely honored to be nominated by 3 out of the 5 nominators, so EPLO, Common Seas, and PCAI. Thank you so much for nominating us for Earthshot. Blue Cycle is a blue and circular economy company that focuses on the recycling of plastic waste that arrives from fishing and shipping activities. And we have a 3-step holistic approach, which is quite rare actually for a recycling process. So we collect the material, we process it in Greece, which I think is also extremely important for the sustainability practices of Greece. And we create materials and items that are 100% recyclable. We mainly focus on the creation of plastic pellets, so these can be reintroduced into the plastic industry. Currently, we collect materials from about 35 locations around Greece. This is a network that is constantly expanding in the islands as well as mainland Greece. Mostly it's ghost nets and nets that have been abandoned in ports, ropes, aquaculture materials, mussel farm materials. Unfortunately, we still have a lot of abandoned farms, fishing farms in Greece. As Lefteris mentioned as well, Greece is the largest fishing nation in the European Union. We have more than 14,000 fishing vessels. So obviously we understand that this is a huge issue that we have to tackle. We do not have the infrastructure yet, and this is something that we are trying to set up and assist in setting up the infrastructure for this material to be successfully recycled and upcycled as well. The fact that we have a holistic approach allows us to follow the life cycle of this material, and I think it's an extremely important thing to try and promote the idea of the circular economy in Greece. I think we can be a good example for that, and Greece can be an example of innovation and innovative processes. We make, apart from the pellets, large-scale 3D printed items, toys, which are, again, fully recyclable, of course, building materials as well. We hope that the network of collaboration expands, the network of what we can make expands, and, of course, for this material to be slowly introduced until it's fully phased out of the industry. I think if we did win the Earthshot Prize, we'd basically continue what we were doing. As it was mentioned earlier, I think everybody who's here today is very passionate about what they're doing. So I think it would just be, first of all, the visibility of the Earthshot is something which is fantastic because it highlights the issues for people who are not familiar with these issues as well. So I think that's something extremely important. And of course, it would help everybody who is involved in exploring further what they're doing more research, being a lot more, doing more work in the field and implementing their work further. So again, thank you very much for the invitation and for the nominations.
Thank you so much. And I guess scale is one issue that a prize like the Earthshot Prize would help in dealing with, because all that has been discussed are mostly local initiatives that would thrive in an international or even Greek level. Let's hear some more from our online participants, more nominees. The organization names are very small, so I can't actually read them to call you from. So I would like each and every one of you to take initiative and speak. So go ahead. Who's the first who can unmute themselves?
I'll go.
Yes. You even raised your hand. Very well. You're first.
Hi, I'm Jade Brudenell. I am the Executive Director of the Conservation Collective. We're slightly different, a different beast to the organizations that you've heard from today. We are a global network of 20 local environment foundations focused on raising new channels of money to support the best and most effective grassroots environmental initiatives, working to restore nature on land and sea. So you may ask, what am I doing here? Well, I was lucky enough to be part of the group who actually set up the who set up the Cyclades Preservation Fund. So that was about the 6th member of 20 and the first of the members in Greece. Thanks to the incredible work of Annie Mitra, her amazing local team and her partners, they have inspired the creation of so far 2 additional Greek local foundations in the Ionian Islands and in the Argos Saronic. And we have hopes in the future for more as well. So our model is to raise new funds from people and individuals with a strong connection to a particular place. As you've seen today, there are incredible people beavering away, working on their amazing projects they're the people who know how to make change. They are the people who understand the local political, social, economic contexts which are needed in order to sustain long-term nature conservation and restoration. So what do? We raise the money, and that might be from people with second homes, it might be from international visitors, it might be from companies, travel companies, villa rental companies, the people who get so much out of these incredible islands and who really ought to be paying something into their future. So we try and act as an enabler and as a team, trying to raise money, raise awareness, tell the stories of Park, for example, to the UK media, to the international media, a platform to promote these stories. And what the local foundation, the Cyclades Preservation Fund, are doing is all the networking, knowledge sharing, risk level, scaling, mentoring, capacity building. creative and doing whatever they need to do to move projects along seed. So the CPF nominated us, and we would nominate Mogorama as well. And just so excited by all the potential to do in terms of fighting for environmental change, and honored to have a role in it.
Thank you so much, and very nice, congratulations, very nice work. Let's hear from Mr. Marcus Raymond.
To the British Embassy for hosting this event and having us here, the Earthshot Prize to consider us, and PCAI for nominating us. It's really unexpected. We are TBA 21 Academy, which is the organization that I direct, is a contemporary art foundation and a creative ecosystem that is aiming to foster a deeper relationship to the ocean and other bodies of water through the lens of art, to inspire care and action. And we believe that next to scientific conservation solutions, technological solutions, we also need a cultural response to these converging crises, and actually come to a point where environmental care and concern becomes a cultural practice. 12 years now, we've been visiting all kinds of framework conferences, COP, United Nations Oceans Conference, IUCN, and so on. And what we've identified is actually that there's a immense siloization of communities, and that connecting and collaborating across disciplines is nearly impossible, especially the way that conservation funding is set up. It's highly competitive and not necessarily fostering collaborations. In 2019, we opened a space in Venice that brings together aspects of art, science, policy, activism, indigenous knowledge systems, and so on. And at the same time, we created a digital platform that is meant to do exactly that. It's meant to facilitate connections and collaborations across disciplines. It's called the Ocean Archive. Currently, we have approximately 40,000 monthly users, where every item that is hosted on the archive is negotiated with its creator and sits within the Creative Commons. It doesn't discriminate in any way between a scientific paper, fisherman's testimony, an artwork, an article, and it organizes itself around relationships. 42 concept tags somehow make the big structure, and then keywords make the granularity. Underneath that database sits a community platform, and currently we have 1,000 very, very active users that share, collaborate, present their projects and educational forms, and obviously, and then there's a narrative tool within there where the items can be stories, and so therefore get a different kind of emotional thrust to the data and the knowledge that sits within the platform. Obviously, should we win this prize, this is a beta version as it is. It's a quite successful beta version according to the numbers, but we could totally scale this and work on the user interface, user experience, and really create a digital ecosystem that is really meant to facilitate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Mr. Retos.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and a big thanks to Organization Earth for the nomination. I'm here representing Hyperion, an energy community, so a group of citizens and NGOs that are collaboratively producing clean energy in Athens. Compared to the other projects that are spanning multiple countries and communities and things, we're actually quite small scale. We're 70 people, we're in Athens, and we still haven't got our project approved because of various bureaucratic reasons. But we have managed to at least influence the scaling out in other parts of Greece and in conversation with other communities. So what are energy communities? Very briefly, Back in 2018, the European Commission called on all EU member states by 2021 to recognize the rights of citizens, municipalities, and small and medium-sized enterprises to collaboratively produce clean energy. So co-invest and co-benefit from renewable energy projects. To put it very simply, let's say that each and every one of us in this event puts 500 euros and we all buy a solar park together. And with the energy that is produced from that, we cover the electricity needs of our households. And maybe we also give some of the surplus to energy poor households or to a community center, a homeless center, a refugee reception center for free. So this is the model of energy democracy. This is the model that recognizes that indeed we're undergoing a rapid energy transition across the world from fossil fuels to clean sources of energy. But if we just replicate the same models of governance and centralized ownership and, let's say, capitalist production that characterize the fossil fuel system, and we just transpose that onto a renewable energy system, we're just going to keep perpetuating the same injustices and violences and extractivisms of the past. So this model of energy communities basically recognizes the right to devolve the means of production, if I can invoke, let's say, a Marxist perspective, onto the citizens, onto the local communities, and build up that local energy security. If anything, the war in Ukraine has proven that we need to move away from these centralized fossil fuel based globalized energy systems and devolve that power back onto the communities. So we're still working on these projects. We're also now trying to promote the idea in the Balkans, slowly to Northern Africa and the Middle East, but it's all happening in turtle steps. But we're very excited for this, and thanks again for the invitation today.
Thank you. And let's go to Mr. Panos Sakas.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. I am here representing the design and research design studio from Rotterdam. That was founded by me and Fotenis Setaki. With our studio, we've been working on ways to transform plastic waste into meaningful and useful objects and applications, like furniture, landscape, or other architectural applications, indoor and outdoor. And we were very honored and surprised, actually, to be nominated by PCAI and Kika Kyriakakou to be part of the Earthshot Prize. And this thing happened because being among such interesting and powerful initiatives makes us also feel better about being on the right path. The reason specifically why we were nominated was our Print Your City project, a project with which we are trying to find ways of transforming plastic waste in cities together with the participation of citizens into part of the public space. In short, try to, let's say, use our plastic waste to build our public space. It's a project that we've been working on since 2016. We started from Amsterdam, then we managed to apply it in a big scale in Thessaloniki in 2018. And last year, we applied again in Elefsina. In a nutshell, it's about creating a small factory in the center of the cities where with emerging technologies like robotic 3D printing, we can actually create an experience center for the communities, for young people or like people of all age, to learn, to raise awareness about the proper use of plastic waste, to understand what is the problem and the specifications of plastic waste pollution, and then at the same time try to find a meaningful application that they can see real time and apply it in their own city. So you can understand that a prize like the Earthshot Prize, of course, would help a lot such a project to scale up and to be applied in more locations and more places and different ways. Of course, we will continue trying, doing that thing. And again, thanks a lot for having us here.
Thank you so much. I think there's no one left and everyone has spoken. This has been, for me, overwhelmingly inspiring. Thank you, and very informative. So many worthwhile initiatives taking place, described in very dense way. It makes everyone very hopeful. I hope that you're all very uplifted and leave this place feeling a little better than what you did when you came in. Is there any questions that you would like to ask the nominees, something that our panelists would be able to answer in the next 2 or 3 minutes? Because we have that luxury. I didn't think that would be possible today. Good. Then if we have no questions, I would like to thank everyone here for participating. Wish you all the best of luck. And also many thanks to the Embassy and to the Earthshot Prize for making us feel a little bit better for the country and the planet this morning. I would like to remind you that leaving, you are free to pick up your copy of Earthshot. It's very worthwhile, courtesy of Psichogios publications. If you haven't read it already, give it a look. It's very interesting and concise. Thank you again, and best of luck to all of you. Yeah.